Can't lie, I'm pretty disappointed. This is the first gameplay that I've recorded with my PS5 and it was advertised at being 1080p 60 FPS. I'm not seeing that on my end, but let me know if when it's uploaded it's fine on your guys' end. Regardless of that, I want to show you guys today how you can play against bots in Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War multiplayer. So go to the multiplayer main menu here and scroll down to verse bots. You're going to click on this. Nah, I'm just messing with you guys. Today we're actually talking about how you can play bad players in this game. Now personally, I haven't really felt the effects of skill-based matchmaking in my lobbies. I've actually had a higher elimination to death ratio than I've had in any Call of Duty game ever, and that's also factoring in that it's eliminations and not kills. So like it's kills plus assists. It's still way higher than anything I've ever had in the past. So I feel like I'm not really getting hit too hard with it, but I won't deny that it is an actual thing and a lot of people are playing a lot of sweats because of it. So I know that a lot of people are going to be looking for a way to escape this and not have to play people who are trying super hard. They want to play more casual lobbies, or more than that, maybe people just want to do better in their games and so they want to be able to face bad players. Today I'm showing you guys how you can face these bots, and by bots I just mean bad players in this game. Now the only bad thing about this is that I'm really just making this video way too late, and it will lead to some people not being able to do this circumstantially. And what I mean by this is that you're going to need a semi-fresh account. If you've logged tons and tons of hours in Cold War multiplayer so far, this might not be something that you want to do, or maybe even will be able to do. So I know for me, I've played over a day of multiplayer. I go into my barracks or whatever, and then on my combat record and it says a day and 6 hours or whatever. I've played a lot, and so as a result, when I play multiplayer, it really doesn't change my elimination to death ratio too much each game that I play. Even if I do really well or really poorly, it barely moves it. And so if you have a ton of time played on this game, then this might not work for you. So if you're one of those people and you still want to do this, you will likely have to make another account and basically start fresh, which is kind of a bummer, but it's the way that it's got to be done. So now let me introduce this to you guys. Many people know this as, simply put, reverse boosting, and that can definitely have some negative connotations because it is seen as a way of cheating in other environments and contexts. So if you take Warzone, for example, there will be Warzone tournaments online with people, but a way to cheat it is by going in and being really bad on purpose for a lot of matches, which gives you worse competition. And then for those tournaments, that's technically against the rules because you can't get into the same game, but you're playing separate games. But if your competition is easier, then it's definitely going to be easier for you to get wins and kills and more of them. And essentially what I'm talking about here is doing the same thing, but it's not like low integrity. It's actually just a valiant way of fighting skill-based matchmaking, in my opinion. So let me clarify real briefly for those of you who are still a little bit unsure about what reverse boosting is. Essentially, you go into these games, you do really poorly so that you will face easier competition, or in other words, worse players because of skill-based matchmaking. And that in turn is just going to make your experience playing the game more fun because you will be more successful. One huge key to this is that you are going to want to make sure you do this in a lot of matches before you start playing seriously and for real. So for example, if you go into 50 matches and you go 0-20 in all of them, you just leave your console on and let people kill you or whatever, that means that you are 0-1000, and that means that you need the equivalent of a 1000-0 game just to get back to a 1 KD, which is around average. And so that's going to last you a long time because it's going to take you so many games to get 1000 more kills than deaths, and that is really important to do. You really want to make sure that you give yourself a good foundation so that it's going to take you a long time to get back into those good lobbies. So if you're going to commit to doing this, make sure that you spend as long as possible going into these matches and doing really poorly so that you will in turn have as long of a time as possible playing in these bad lobbies. One last massive point that I want to bring up is that if you are a player who really values your elimination to death ratio, this might not be for you because say you go into those 50 matches and you go 0-20 in each, that means you're going to have 1000 more deaths than you would normally have, and obviously that's going to have a pretty bad effect on your ratio. And so if that's something that you really take pride in, this might not be the best option, although I will say you are going to have more fun with the game in the long run. that's pretty much the gist of it. If you guys have any clarifying questions that need to be answered, go ahead and drop them in the comments. Hopefully I or somebody else can get to them. But anyway, guys, I think that pretty much wraps it up. So I appreciate you guys sticking around all the way to the end. Make sure that you subscribe if you want more stuff like this. You can unsubscribe whenever you don't want to watch anymore. No risk at all. Anyway, guys, again, thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I'll see you later.